Hi, I'm plain-faced white guy, and this evening we've got an exclusive interview with, yes, you all remember him, the hunkiest of hunks, Chad Michael Murray. Chad, welcome to the studio.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here. We've got so many questions. We haven't seen you in a long time.
I know I've been just when
Oh,
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work these days for Life Network and the Hallmark people. They're good people.
Chad, I mean, you sound a little bit different. You all right? You need a tissue or something, or?
Oh, I'm fine. This is how I always talk. I put that voice on for for the camera so I can make the smoochy faces with Lindsay Lohan's and the Hilary Duffs. Nailed them both.
Wow, well, big reveal here. Well, Chad, tell us, what are you doing these days? Who are you doing these days? You know what I mean?
Well, I am, like I said, I'm working a lot with Lifetime, but I'm not doing very many people these days, as I've basically been trying to do some self care. I've got this really bad hemorrhoid right in the middle of my asshole, and it itches like nobody's business.
Well, now it's everybody's business. It's America's business. You just told everyone.
I like to be a person who's out there and transparent with my fans.
Very good, very good. Now, Chad, what have you got on the docket? You said you've got lots of projects. You got something coming out soon. Anything you're excited for?
Yes, I'm actually going to be in at least 3 dozen Hallmark Christmas movies this year, all about curmudgeonly old young white women who learn the true meaning of Christmas and love.
Oh, and by old, you mean 35?
Exactly, like I said, old.
Right. So, I mean, I have to ask you, best kisser in Hollywood. Come on, hit us with it.
I'm going to have to say Tyler Perry. Him and I made out on the set of A Medea Christmas, and it was magical.
Was this a scene that was cut?
No, he just came to my trailer, and I could not resist his charms.
So, Chad, you've had a career. You've had a lengthy career now over the years. You've been in many different things. So, what are some of your favorite roles that you've taken on?
Oh, let me tell you about the time I was in this movie that terrified literally every person in America at the same time.
Oh, and of course, Chad Michael Murray here in the studio. He's talking about his big hit last year, Ted Bundy, an American Boogeyman. You played Ted Bundy. That's crazy.
Of course not. I'm talking about the Hilary Duff vehicle, A Cinderella Story.
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Bippity boppity boo. Here we are once again for you. Put it together, and what do you got? A podcast. I stopped rhyming. Who cares?
Made for two. Like,
Nathan is adhering to the format, and I was like, "Fuck you."
wow.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'm coming in hot.
Well, you know what? This movie got me riled up. I'll tell you that much. So,
That's
oof.
crazy.
Really
Sorry.
made me murdery.
This movie,
This movie.
this one. Okay. This is a podcast. It's called "What Were They Thinking?" I am Brendan, and joining me is the Chad Michael Murray to my Hilary Duff, ladies and gentlemen, Nathan.
Hello.
Oh,
Or should I
thanks
say
for
hello? How
thanks
are
for-
you all today?
thanks for the smooch.
No problem.
This is why Hall of Famers think
We're married. Yep.
Thanks for the smooch, he said to his co-host 5 minutes into the podcast. But Nathan, we're here to talk about a very 2004 movie, very romantic 2004 film called A Cinderella Story. And joining us to talk about this film is someone with a penis as wide as a carriage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mariah.
Hello. No, I'm trying to do my Gilbert Gottfried impression.
Oh, I
Really
thought that
bad.
was a Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but ouch.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know who Bobcat Goldthwait is?
No, who is that?
You've never seen any of the Police Academy movies?
Oh, yeah. I have seen like a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still don't know that. Anyway,
How do you
hi
know who
everyone.
Bobcat Goldthwait is?
Nathan, I don't think a lot of people
Get
in
her outta
2022
here.
knew who
Get her
know
outta
who
here.
Bobcat
Out.
Goldthwait
Get
is.
out.
So welcome.
No.
Welcome, Mariah.
Hi, hello
Hi.
everyone.
Yeah. Talking about a Cinderella story.
Yeah, you guys like it?
Nope, not in the
Was it
least.
good?
Loathed it.
No.
We're gonna talk about it. Don't bury the lead, you guys.
Plot.
We're gonna talk about a Cinderella story. It's a modern day update of the classic Cinderella tale. This one
With
stars
flip
of
phones.
what?
With flip phones.
This one stars, of course, Hilary Duff, Chad Michael Murray, and a bunch of people who we'll come to eventually as we go through this movie. But the basic plot of this movie is that it's a Cinderella plot, but it's updated. So we've got Hilary Duff playing, help me out, Sam, and she is her very
Did they just think Cindy was too on the nose?
yeah, man. Come on,
Probably.
that'd have been too much.
Oh, cards on the table. When you said there was this movie, I had some hope that it was actually that Drew Barrymore Ever After a Cinderella story.
No, because I think that movie was well received.
Yeah.
So you're out of luck. But this is so Sam, her father tragically dies in an earthquake.
That's real random that everybody else lived.
Yeah, leaving the business with his wife, aka her evil stepmom, played by Jennifer Coolidge. We also
the female
have...
Gilbert Godfrey without the voice.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I want a hot dog real bad.
We also have the stepsisters, of course. Sam is forced to work at her dad's diner, although the stepmother has redesigned it to resemble nothing of its former glory.
Yeah, it's like 50s bouffant is the motif she went with.
Yeah, she's not allowed to. Well, she's almost prohibited from going to school and furthering her education. Basically, there to serve the needs of her stepmom and stepsisters. And until everything changes, she meets a guy, and well, I think romance is in the air, and hilarity ensues. Well, guys, we start off. Let's start this thing off. We start out in the mountains in a castle, and I was like, wait a second. I thought this was a modern update. Oh, zing! It's just a snow globe, and it was just a little castle and a snow globe.
So it's maybe it's like Krampus World.
Yeah, that insane world.
Or St. Elsewhere. I mean,
yeah. You think it's
Krampus? I'm just joking.
confusing
because
Mariah
that
with the
joke is
references.
only for me, I think.
I get the St. Elsewhere.
Oh, you get the St. Elsewhere joke, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I never know with you.
I mean, I know of the infamous ending to St. Elsewhere. I never watched the show or anything, but
Okay.
it's a pop culture thing.
It is a pop
twist.
culture touchstone.
Yeah,
An ending that enraged several fans.
but hilarious in retrospect.
Yes.
So it's just a snow globe, and we pan back. We see that we see Sam and her pretty awesome dad, who owns a super cool diner where she says diet was a 4-letter word and grease came at no additional charge.
Like, what the hell? Grease? Like, do people like charge for grease?
No, it's not. It just means it was a greasy diner.
Really, yeah. Or now, hear me out. There was a daily floor show that involved numbers from the musical Grease.
I'd go.
Oh.
So, Tell me more.
Or you all right?
Sorry, he's really good like with his jokes.
Just had an
Like,
exasperated.
no, it's just like
her dad has a diner. He's a cool dad, and everything's going just great until Fiona enters the situation. This is the new woman he brings in. This woman he marries, played by Jennifer Coolidge, alongside her evil twin daughters, Brianna and Gabriella. And she says, unfortunately, this was no fairy tale. But that's okay because her dad tells her that fairy tales don't come true, but dreams do, guys. Dreams do come true. And never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. I don't know what I
And
don't
a
understand.
gajillion other platitudes that get expressed in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand the baseball stuff, how that enters the fray. I know she
Is he a
plays,
tomboy,
I'm guessing he was a big fan of baseball.
but that it's just it feels incredibly
I think it's
random.
just because like she's not like the normal like girl. She likes
Well,
baseball.
Let's for a second talk about a considerably better movie, A League of Their Own. One of the reasons why I believe Rosie O'Donnell's character got to play in the Bigs was because her mom passed away and her dad had to raise her, and he only really knew how to raise boys, and he raised her to be a great baseball player. I think the same
Right.
idea is happening here,
Ah,
but in
that
a
makes
much
sense.
shittily executed way.
Hey.
Well, it just doesn't. It just felt to me like it was like, oh, let's have this baseball reference, but make sure you show her like in a batting cage once. Okay, good, we got it. Move on, guys.
Oh, and practicing later as well.
Yes, of course. But suddenly, in the middle of daddy-daughter time, an earthquake strikes. The snow globe breaks, and the father dies off screen.
Which is amazing how they all survive.
Also, yeah, it's California. They get earthquakes. You would think he would know not to get out of the doorway.
Well, he's like, I don't understand why he doesn't just stay with her, because he's like, I'll be right back, honey, and like runs down the hall of at the top of a 2-story house.
And you know what? Who's he going to check on? Jennifer Coolidge, her 2 kids. Those people are garbage people. He should just be concerned with his daughter.
He went to go grab his phone so he can like tweet about it. Like, oh my god, did anybody feel this earthquake?
I mean,
In 2004.
so he can MySpace about it.
Ah, yeah, whatever.
He's gotta tell Tom all about it.
Yeah.
The T9, yeah, T9 texting.
What?
I don't know, texting words. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways.
So yeah, so he's dead as fuck. And we find out that the stepmom, Jennifer Coolidge, got everything because old Pops didn't have a will. And
So I didn't know that was the thing. Like I thought, when you have no will, like is it true that like
It goes to probate usually, but it's like he was married to her, so she would technically be like the next of kin because they're married. So if there was
Oh.
no will in place, usually it would default to the spouse.
told you, this movie checks out, no flaws.
That's not to
Brendan.
say that that sort of shit happens all the time, and then it goes to the children challenge it and all that sort of thing. But you know what? For the sake of simplicity, Jennifer Coolidge got everything because there was no will in place, or was there? Well, we'll get to that
Much later.
much later.
Hey Brendan, does
what?
this cloth smell like chloroform?
I don't
Why
have
is
okay.
Why is she gonna chloroform you?
Because she's gonna get my quote unquote money.
Oh, you guys aren't married though.
Common law spouse, not a thing.
It might be, but
damn.
there'd be a lot more probate stuff wrapped up in that thing.
You're
Probes.
probate.
Okay.
You'll have to get probed. That's
All
Wait,
right.
I'll already be dead, so probe away.
no. Well, I mean, I suppose.
Yeah. Is Mariah gonna do the probing? Because that's a big fucking probe.
Thanks.
She said thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, exactly. So, in this new environment with the dead daddy, Sam is everyone's butler essentially. She's forced to cook, clean, while evil Fiona and her daughters just kind of lounge around. The daughters take synchronized swimming lessons with the most stereotypically gay swimming instructor of all time.
Surprisingly, they didn't use that for laughs, other than the fact that you're just like, I think that guy's gay.
Yeah, just for the fact that it's like, oh, he sounds funny. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. But there is a pretty great underwater fart joke, right, guys?
Oh, that's fantastic.
I like how. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, the one good thing Sam does get out of this whole deal is a whole attic to herself away from those ass bags.
Mm.
They're the worst. The
They're so
worst.
bad.
Garbage people.
Well, they're the evil. They're evil.
I also like how the house that they live in looks like it's from a fairy tale. Like it looks like it would be something from Cinderella.
Like the Shire.
Yeah.
So Sam is told to get to work because she says school is for people who don't already have a job, and you already have a great job at the diner that I own now because your dad died. It'd be funny if she just kept reminding him of that throughout the movie. Hey, remember when your dad died?
Is there no way that they could have had this character played with subtle awfulness, like passive aggressive stuff, as opposed to just being like Tammy Lynn Sitch awful right in your face?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Tammy Faye Baker, but I guess she turned a corner.
I like the reference where they like not the reference, but like the comment she makes where she's like, "Droughts are for poor people."
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see that she does not give a shit about the drought order in effect in California, because their house is like green as green can be, while everybody else in the neighborhood is stuck with that delightful California brown.
I was gonna say too, Nathan, you're saying that you wish there was maybe a little bit more nuanced evil to this. I don't think that's anyone's end goal when you hire Jennifer Coolidge as to play your villain. Now, nothing against her. I think she's great. I think Jennifer Coolidge is very talented and very funny. But
Has she done anything like serious where she doesn't do that sort of shit?
well, she's been in like Christopher Guest movies where she does like she's still doing comedy, but she does like a much different style.
Okay. It just seems interesting. She seems, like you said, she's very talented. I've seen her in a lot of stuff. I would just love to see her be able to, I don't know, stretch her range a bit to see if she could actually do just straightforward dramatic acting.
She did stretch her range in American Pie. Ooh,
And not with Sean William Scott. I don't know.
I mean, I hope not. Good lord,
If he can
that
stretch
would have been
anything.
weird. So it's always weird to me when I hear a song in a movie sung by the lead actor, because that comes up at this point where Hilary Duff sings like the song while she's like getting ready to go to work and everything.
I'll say this, for the most part, with the exception of I think one song that I heard throughout the entire movie, the soundtrack wasn't that bad for this flick.
Oh, so great.
It just felt it reminded me of an era.
It was like, yeah, it was very early
Oh,
2000s poppy punk rock,
Yeah.
pop rock sort of sound, but
I could have used more Skater Boy.
we get to that end credit song though. I got some rage.
Um,
So angry about that.
so we
Your
go.
lips are sealed, eh? We'll talk about it later.
We go to the diner. We meet everyone at the diner. Regina King is
amazing.
inexplicably, she's great, but she's in this movie. Inexplicably in this movie.
Hey, you know what? When they say, "Hey, you want this like movie? We're gonna give you a dump truck full of cash," you take it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, I'm not
absolutely.
blaming her. I'm just saying it's crazy that she's in this movie. But she's there. We've got Paul Rodriguez playing the cook, stand-up comic that I couldn't place for a while, and then when I figured out who it was, I was like, this guy.
Wow.
Not a fan.
Okay.
Regina King plays Rhonda, and she's always looking out for Sam and telling her to hit the books and go to school and get your studies done. Don't worry, I'll cover for you. Your stepmom's a real bitch.
Also, I want to mention too that it's the same people that worked in the restaurant when they switched over with Fiona. When
Yeah, she kept
the same,
when Jennifer Coolidge character, when she took over, the staff stayed for some inexplicable reason. We get why Regina King's character stays later, but everybody else, I guess they all have some sort of fealty towards Sam, because I can't think of a reason why I would want to work for Jennifer Coolidge's character in this Fiona. I wouldn't want to work for her at all in this movie universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand the loyalty at all. So Rhonda, Regina King is like, go to school. So Sam
I'll say
goes.
kudos to them for never once having Paul Rodriguez or the other waitress or even Sam once did they have to say, "Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Lost.
Get her out of my life. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda."
Oh, okay.
Oh, geez.
No, when you
Rhonda,
sung it,
help
when you sing it, I get it. I don't know the lyrics. The lyrics on their own, I'm just like,
You don't get it, Brendan.
I
You don't
know
get
this.
Nathan's comedy.
Okay. So anyway, Sam picks up her friend Carter, aka the kid from the Hills Have Eyes remake, who is appropriating culture like nobody's business.
Oh yeah, it gets a little out of control, doesn't it?
When he came out wearing the chains and the shirt, I turned to Mariah, who had seen this movie before. I said, "Please tell me this is not his character for the entire movie."
And I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if it had been.
Oh
But no,
man,
he's just a method. He's just a drama geek who's method, I guess.
he says I'm a method actor. He's a real Malibu's Most Wanted in this scene.
What?
The freaking Jamie Kennedy movie.
Oh,
He's kicking
yeah,
it
that
old
one.
school.
Oh
Yeah.
man, any more awful Jamie Kennedy movies you want to mention?
Because it might make you scream.
Hey, Scream is a great movie.
Okay, so it might make you scream too.
Scream 3.
Okay.
I still like Scream 2. So yeah, he shows up. Carter shows up. He's her best friend. I wondered, he's a method actor. What is he doing? An 8 Mile musical. Cut to the school where we see that Lynn Shaye is playing, I think, the vice principal or the principal, and she interrupts the goth girl doing like the morning announcements. We're making her do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Is that supposed to be her daughter?
That's what I questioned that to Brendan because I was like, why is she touching like her like
Exactly.
that?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Why is a faculty member putting hands on a student unless they're related?
So Carter, we find out that Carter, the best friend, has the hots for the hottest girl in school who is dating. That's right. Scratchy voice himself, Chad Michael Murray, playing Austin.
Weird that he sounds like that in real life.
I know, right? Thankfully, the mean girls that are hanging around him have decided to bring a megaphone on this day to declare this a no geek zone. Sorry, guys, no geeks allowed.
The funny thing with this movie is that the Jennifer Coolidge character, I mean, the way she behaves towards Sam, it made me angry. Same with the stepsisters, but I get it. They're supposed to be like that because it's the evil stepmother and the wicked stepsisters. Okay, I get that. The teenagers in this movie made me want to murder like super hard. I actually have a note here. Plow into them with your car. Please plow into them with your car.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I really wanted this thing to take like a real prom night Carrie hard right turn.
Well, it's funny because it's almost like like a better movie, I don't get the same feeling. Like when I'm watching Mean Girls and I'm seeing Rachel McAdams, I'm laughing. I'm more like laughing at it because it's so aware of how awful they are. Whereas in a movie like this, it's like, oh, they're the villains, blah blah blah. Who cares? And they try to actually make it like in Mean Girls, they try to actually make them like rounded out characters.
Yeah, not these ones.
Yeah, no, these are just like stock bullies, very lazy.
I did notice that in the jock entourage,
the jock entourage,
exactly. Other than Chad Michael Murray, Easy from the Mayans is in this movie.
What?
I've never seen that show.
Oh, well, you finished Sons of Anarchy recently.
Yeah, but it's not time to move on yet. I gotta wait till
I'm just saying, when you do,
okay.
there's the main character from the Mayans is one of the he's like the secondary guy. He's like Chad Michael Murray's one of his buddies.
Oh well, major spoiler alert. So yeah, and then we basically get the idea here that there's a separation of church and state, separation of rich and not rich, I guess. But
I don't know if that's the case because her friend is rich.
Okay, well, separation of rich.
It's separation of geek and popular.
Yeah.
Simon
Helberg shows up for a cup of coffee to say, "Hey, I'm in this movie too," and then just disappears for a while. He'll come back later. I noted that Big Bang Theory guy. Yeah. I noted that the phones are hilarious in this. I mean, obviously very appropriate to when this was filmed, but I laughed hard at a close-up shot of Sam holding a phone. That just the fact that it barely fit in the palm of her hand.
Oh my God,
I'm so glad that I waited until the era of smartphones to really get a cell phone.
Yeah,
I could not have handled texting in a flip phone
my God,
world.
I take it like. Cause they text so fast in this movie. You know what's sad?
Well, we're about to get to. We're just about to get to that because Sam has an anonymous, flirty text buddy, and
that always ends well.
Always. Anonymous romance is the best way to go. But apparently he must like get ready for her responses and preload his texts, because she literally responds to him and then immediately has a response from him. Did you notice that the way they shot that? Like she would send a message and then it would be like beep, and then he sent like a paragraph
Well,
back, and I'm
Brendan-
like, dude, when are you writing these fucking texts?
Well, Brendan, they don't want to fucking show like the part where like he's like doing like the clicking all the time.
Well,
Like
they
that's
couldn't-
not a
no,
part
but-
of the movie.
No, but they didn't even like make it look like time had gone by.
Well,
Like she
it's-
literally looked at her phone and it was there.
Okay, like it's a fairy
I'll
tale.
tell you this. I
Well,
have a friend of
fairy
mine
tale.
who had a flip phone up until like 2009 or 10.
Drug dealer. I'm
And
joking.
nope, he just hesitant to move on from any technology, and he could text fast with his
Nice.
flip phone. I could not get over how quickly he was able to text with that thing. So
Must be good.
I'm
with
guessing
singing.
with the practice, it's not impossible.
No, but
No,
it's
yeah,
but
that's
it's
true.
immediate. It's not even like a couple seconds. It's like she says like, "Oh, not much," and he's like, "Oh, cool. I was just doing this, and then I was going to do that. Did you want to do this?" Like it's like,
Well, it just
what?
shows
Jesus,
us-
what do you want, Neil Breen? Leave everything in?
No, but like show that like cut to
Yeah.
at least cut to him and show that he's
Emily.
texting or something.
All I have to say about this is like it looks like
Emily.
they're like all I have to say about
Emily,
this.
send.
All I have to say about this, it looks like he's good with his fingers, and hit me up.
Give me those digits, eh?
Hey,
Say-
oh, hey,
Aha!
aha.
Let me stick it in you.
All right.
Oh,
we already
Sandra.
did that. We already missed that, Brennan. We did that at the beginning.
Anyway, it was ridiculous. So they're texting back and forth, and they don't know who each other are. They're just like this flirty little text thing. And
Sexting. Well, they left that out.
they're
again.
not sexting. Just at one point though, she's in like the library on the computer, and he's like on the other side, and he says it innocently, but he's like, "If you turn out to be a guy, I'm gonna kick your butt." And it's like,
I love when they were typing too. They were just like typing and like moving their heads like a little bit, like it has like if they were reading it out loud. I don't know.
well, I mean, that's I don't.
I started doing it and then I had to cover myself because I was doing the head. I was doing the physical comedy.
Yeah,
And no one could see me.
nobody can see you.
Damn it.
So we also get the trope that despite being a big brutish jock, Austin, Chad Michael Murray, is a big lover of poetry, and he quotes Tennyson all the time. He's complicated and sympathetic and
Going to Princeton.
Get it? Princeton?
Well, she did ask her. She did ask her dad where all the princes are, and he said they went to Princeton.
Anywho, Carter goes with Sam to the ball pit, and she gets a call from Fiona. Just like, wash the jag and get me some food and water the lawn, like all this stuff, right?
I noted this is child abuse.
Like, I don't know how this woman would not have been arrested by now.
Yeah, they're like all Sam would
CPS
really
call.
have to exactly. All Sam would have to do is just mention a tenth of the things that are going on at her house and at her job that is also run by her mother, and CPS would have been involved immediately.
I got something to say about this. So if the people in the restaurant are terrible because they're actually like seeing what's going on and they're letting it
Yes!
happen because they just like to work there and they're just like, oh well, she gets like sort of not really like she gets emotionally abused. Yes, absolutely. They just fucking let it happen.
Like, I don't want to lose my like $9 an hour job.
No, in 2004 in America, $5.50 at best.
And they fucking cook like salmon waffles. They ain't fucking doing good.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the assistant manager, Nathan.
Okay.
Anyway, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
So we get the other side of the story here. We get Austin arguing with his dad. It's right out of High School Musical, where the dad is like, "No, I want you to play.
Gonna jock dad.
Yeah, I want you to play football. You're gonna go to USC, and then you're gonna manage the family car wash business." And
You
it's
say UFC.
no USC.
I
was confused.
University of Southern California.
I was confused too because I was like, "Wait a second. So you want him to go
fondly known as the University of Spoiled Kids.
Ha ha.
with a C?"
Or sorry, children. Spoiled children. I'm drinking. What do you want?
Also, I didn't understand this thing either because like, okay, you want your kid he's the dad that wants his kid to go play football and not worry about studies or poetry or, stuff like that. But he wants him to go play football, but then ultimately come back and manage the car wash business. So you don't want him to be like a football star, but you just want him to go play it and then come back?
No NFL for you.
Yeah.
Just go play in the NCAA, get treated like an indentured servant for 4 years, and then come back here and run my car wash.
I thought that was so weird. I figured the play would be go be in the NFL and then come back and endorse my car wash.
I also like the
if they want to go with that route, Dad would have to be like a used car salesman.
Yeah.
the parents in this movie are fucking assholes.
They're not
Most
great.
of the adults are awful in this movie. Agreed.
So Austin is working at the car wash. The stepsisters show up and intentionally dirty their car so that he'll clean them, and because they're all like hot for him and everything.
They're dumber than a bag of hammers, both of them.
Yeah, I mean to comically insane, not realistic levels. Sam ultimately, though, she wants to go to the dance, you guys. She wants to go, but Fiona tells her, you can't go to the dance. You got to go to the diner and mop the floors. And
You're not really pretty, and you're not really bright.
And you're not, I got news for you. You're not pretty. By the way, I have to say it right here. Okay. This movie makes a point of, okay, it's crazy because Hilary Duff is clearly like a supermodel. Like even at this age, she's clearly a model. She's clearly like a beautiful young lady. And they paint her as like she's wearing like a baseball cap. I'm like, is this movie's way of trying to tell us that she's just a normal girl? She's not pretty. She's not pretty like the pretty
She's
girls.
a plain Jane.
She's a plain Jane. And I'm like, that is insane.
Nope.
That is an insane thing to say. That's like when you see it's like when they do like She's All That. And it's like that girl has glasses on.
Well, it's the same thing in like
clearly she's like the most beautiful actress in the whole movie.
What's the same thing in like Elizabeth, like the Lizzie McGuire show? Like it's also the same thing. Like she's painted as like not popular, like not like the pretty one kind of thing. So I think she might be typecast as like the quote unquote ugly one.
That makes no sense.
None whatsoever.
No, exactly.
Like I could understand it if she was made to seem as maybe socially awkward. Okay, that's fine. Maybe she's a little more intellectual, nerdy even, or a tomboy. That's fine. If you try to tell me that Hilary Duff is not pretty, get the fuck out with that.
See, I'm going to bring it up again. I think they do that much better in Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan, because she is a pretty girl, and they show her to be like a little bit nerdier, but they don't do it in a way where they're trying to pretend she's like some hideous fucking chud or
she
something.
Just shows that she's nerdy.
Yeah. Like she still has that side of her that like guys are clearly attracted to her. Like in this movie, they have Hilary Duff going like, I don't know if he's gonna like me when he meets me. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? You're fucking gorgeous.
And then when she gets made up, times 10.
Exactly. Like even when
I got some questions about that whole dance thing too.
All right, well, she wants to go to the dance. Or Fiona's like, no, you have to go to work. Fiona makes sure to make a racist crack at Rhonda by calling her Betty Crocker from the Hood, which I thought was alarming.
I actually noted that Regina is far more patient than she needs to be right here.
She really is. Yeah. I did laugh at Fiona just randomly saying, I am a very appealing person. Kind of got me.
In that she constantly gets chemical peels.
Yes. Yes, which or Botox, which they make a joke later about, and I said, "Oh, that is the most 2004 comedy joke ever."
Just like Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh yeah,
it's around the same time, wasn't it?
Same year, exact same year.
Hey, it's a Botox joke year.
Botox joke year. We all know where we were. But guys, I think we can agree. I think we can agree that this part coming up is the craziest part of the movie. Is when Sam and Rhonda are standing there filling napkin holders, and they're only putting like 10 napkins in each holder.
Yes, anybody who's worked food in this food service knows that they are woefully underpacking those napkin holders.
I wrote down, it's like, this is the craziest part of this movie. Like you see that, and they're just like boop, 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 done. Next holder. I was like, what are you preparing for? Like 3 people to come to the restaurant? Like, what are you doing? Oh, it's nuts. So anyway, the jock gang shows up. What did you call them earlier?
Oh, the Jocktourage.
Oh, Jocktourage. They show up at the diner,
Oh my
and
god. Oh my
Oh, and
god.
they want some
that fucking
ridiculous
asshole.
dietary restriction.
Oh my god. He
Can I
said
get
like,
this, and this? No.
and then the guy fucking says laxative isn't a food group. That's an eating disorder. That's an eating disorder.
That is
girl
an
has
eating
an eating
disorder joke.
disorder.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
2004, baby.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Terrible.
Sweeping under the rug. Moving on. What's the next shot, Mr. Director? We learned that, I guess we already kind of know, but Austin's girlfriend is pretty horrible. And so he's finally like, you know what? We're breaking up. And she's like, no, we're not. I'll see you at the dance. Guys,
Gaslit.
Sam, she can't go to the dance. She just can't. But Carter shows up as Zorro. Rhonda is there, and they said, you know what? You're going to that dance, girl. Cue the trying on outfits montage.
Oh my god. Like why like all these outfits are so bad. Like
Why is she trying on a knight's outfit? I don't understand. I know it's a Halloween dance, but like, were they really like, you know what? Maybe you can go as a medieval knight.
I think it's a filler. It was a time filler.
Well, I know it's a time filler, but like it didn't make sense. It didn't make any sense.
Well, it's comedy.
Because
They're-
it's a teen comedy. So I think they were actually legally obligated to have a montage where
Yeah.
people shake their head no at several things and then yes at the last thing.
I totally get the idea of this whole. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way than having a trying on clothes montage. But I just thought some of the clothes. I was just like,
It's really
how was this even an option from the beginning?
It's really
Yeah.
funny though. Like none of the costumes worked, and she could just grab like she was like, Rhonda was like, "Oh my god, how much is that mask?"
A mask and a dress. That was
So like they fucking
like-
made that scene just for a mask.
they had her dressed as I think Vampira at one point, and I was like, you know what? They should have said yes to that dress.
Also, we should note, just because this will become important later, that mask is just like a masquerade mask. It
Yes.
literally just covers her eyes. Keep that in mind, people.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah, that's stupid.
Um,
But like I said, that was a waste of time because she could have gone up to the cat like counter and be like, "Oh look, a mask, I'll take it." But it's not as I guess it would be kind of boring scene. I guess.
yeah. So they give her this beautiful dress and masquerade mask, and at the same time, I'm thinking like, how much time do they have to get to this dance? Like, how long is this dance going? Because they get there at 11 o'clock at night, and the party is like, it seems like it's just starting.
I'll say that in high school, when I went to high school, I believe our dances were actually over by 11.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought was crazy. I was like, wouldn't that be like wrapped up by 11 o'clock?
It's got to be midnight because it's a Cinderella story.
Yeah, I know. So
You don't want those Brothers Grimm's purists on your ass.
God, imagine they're like, oh God, a Cinderella story didn't follow the
They didn't go to midnight. That's
Dear
it.
Sirs. The
Mm.
Hilary Duff movie.
That's not how that email will go.
Oh, okay.
Dear Beta Cuck, this is what I think of your movie.
I just picture them going like, I was watching the new Hilary Duff movie, and while charming, I have some thoughts.
Rudy Giuliani's writing about this movie.
I have some thoughts about the new Hilary Duff Cinderella movie.
Now, if you look,
Not once did she leak from the head.
I will be.
She didn't stand in front of any porn shops.
Nor did he try to expose himself to a young lady in a motel room.
In a motion picture, I should add. Signed, respectfully, Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy, I married my cousin Giuliani.
Oh, man. So they go to the dance. Again, it's bumping. Simon Helberg from Big Bang Theory shows up again. And so Sam is set to meet Austin, but she's set to meet him as like her anonymous guy, right? Because he's the one that she's been texting back and forth, not knowing who it is. And Simon Helberg shows up and pretends that like, it's him all of a sudden. It's like, I am the guy that's supposed to meet you. Yeah, sure, that's me. And he's doing this like, stereotypical nerdy sci-fi thing.
I think it's the Matrix.
It is
He's supposed to be Neo or
Yeah.
Morpheus.
And he's like, maybe I could get you some libations. So he goes off to get some drinks. And then Austin shows up and they finally meet up. And how the fuck does he not know who she is?
How does nobody not know who she is? They have functioning ears, I'm guessing.
Well, that's never established.
Somebody
could have been signing.
It's just school full of deaf kids, and just all they're doing is reading lips all day long. No
this is
American
a prequel.
Sign Language whatsoever.
This is a prequel to Coda.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this was a Coderella story.
Jesus Christ.
But yes, everybody, but also like he has been face to face with her in the diner and
talked to her
and talked to her and like he's going to Princeton. Like, dude, if you can't recognize this girl,
maybe on a football scholarship.
Oh, I was gonna say, there's no way you're getting there on a fucking eyes and ears scholarship.
Which I missed my eyes and ears scholarship by just this much, just such a small amount.
Oh, dude, that's the last time I'll say that a dog sounds like a cat.
Free. It would have been a free ride to Bishop's University.
So they meet up, and Sam is she's like, oh, you can ask me 10 questions. So he's going through like,
which is not the name of the game.
It's 20 questions, right?
Right.
Well, maybe it is 20 questions. Is it 10? Maybe it's 10.
No,
Okay.
he said maybe I'll ask you something. I think she says like, oh, you can ask me 10.
Right, because she's running out of time. She's got to make it back to the diner.
Oh, don't forget the hilarity from her sisters showing up as Siamese cat twins.
And then they fall down the stairs with like salt and pepper, and then they start sneezing. Like salt and pepper shakers. And then they start sneezing because they fell down the stairs.
As if they're really salt and pepper.
There's a lot of like physical comedy that's really bad in this movie.
Forced is the word of the day, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
she made a joke way earlier in the movie that they were her out of step sisters.
Let's
know that they're uncoordinated. They're the ones also where at the fart in the pool joke.
Yes, but I just want to point out there's a ticking clock, like we mentioned, because she has to make it back to the diner in time before Fiona makes it there. So it looks like she's been working the whole time and wasn't at the dance.
Right.
Sam questions how Austin, you're a football player? How can you be a football player and a poet? That's crazy. You can't like two opposite things.
This is loathsome, this movie. Her buddy, what's his name? Zorro. Carter. He actually starts macking on the mean girl.
On Austin's like ex-girlfriend, because he saves her from a real creeper.
Yeah, he called it. The creeper called him Taco Boy. Taco Boy.
A lot of those.
Oddly, not the most racist thing said in this movie. So.
No, we already had the Betty Crocker in the hood comment. So and we get the moment here too where Austin says, my true self is closer to poetry and football. It just turns out I'm just like super physically talented. By the way, Lynn Shaye at one point is like looking over at him and Sam, and I know she's taking notes like, oh, they would make a good queen and king, but it looks like she was like putting it in her spank bank for later.
I'm gonna think about those two doing it later.
It sure looked like it.
I will say that when Carter saves the mean girl from the creeper dude, she whispers something in his ear, and I had to note, she offered to do butt stuff with him.
Oh, she definitely said something that made his eyes get white.
That's right. So
yeah, butt stuff.
Butt stuff.
So so Sam and Austin are walking through the archway outside. We get the reveal that Sam likes chowing down on some Big Macs, and he seems super into that idea. Hey, guy, fly high.
Have you ever tried a Whopper? Because I got a Whopper for you.
But it turns out Austin's been really excited about this whole meet that they've arranged because he's got a live band and everything.
And guess what? Somehow they're playing Edwin McCain. I'll be your shining sun.
Yeah, no, she's right, and this whole thing is just.
So it started at the beginning,
awful.
like instrumental, and then like, where the fuck did the singer come in?
Yeah,
they got Edwin McCain.
Somehow this live band played what is clearly a pre-recorded CD version of a popular song from
Well, no, that's the
2004.
thing. They started playing like actually like playing, and then it just like transitioned, like it just like transitioned over, and I was like, what the hell?
Austin at this point does say he swears he's seen her before, and I'm literally yelling at the screen like, "Of course you have, you fucking
You saw her that
idiot."
fucking day. You saw her at
Yeah,
the. She
that
was
day,
your waitress.
exactly. And they didn't have just some like, oh, take my order conversation. I believe they actually had a little bit of an exchange to it. He should have been making note of how she sounds.
Yeah.
Or like with her eyes, because you can still see her eyes even though there's a mask.
Everything, her hair, her face. You can see
Oh,
most
it's
of
funny
her
'cause
face.
I mentioned that thing about the hair too in my notes, but then like they went out of their way for the rest of the movie to have her have like straight hair. I was like, yeah, okay, that's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
yes.
dumber. He's dumber than they make Lois
Maybe
Lane.
he shouldn't go to Princeton.
On a football scholarship, he'll be fine.
No, he doesn't want to play football, remember?
Play for the Giants. See, that's the thing I don't get. Like he can love football and still love poetry.
He doesn't
I don't
love
understand
football.
why movies had to make it like that.
Because it's one or the other, baby.
Yeah.
You ever see you ever see Robert Louis Stevenson out on the field?
No, but I've seen Terry Crews out on the field, and he's a rather in touch gentleman, despite what some of the characters he plays might tell you.
So yeah, so they make plans. They're about to make plans to see each other again, but her phone alarm goes off. Uh-oh, she's gotta go. He doesn't have a chance to take off her mask and kiss her. But she drops her glass slipper. Just kidding. It's 2004. She drops her cell phone.
Her flip phone.
Her flip phone.
Not
they
the
do,
worst modernization they could have done.
They do win king and queen, but of course she's gone, and she has to pull Carter away from the tongue of Austin's ex-girlfriend.
He didn't even get to do the butt stuff she promised him.
Didn't even get to do the. If she was a real friend, she'd be like, "All right, I'll let you finish up. I'll be around
Yeah.
the back.
Do the butt stuff. I'll go get in the car.
I'll go get in the car. Let me know when you're done the butt stuff. If you need to lift up a little bit while you're driving, that's fine. Just let me know." Again, this is a race against time. They're racing to the diner. Fiona's on her way. They do that Botox joke we talked about earlier. She's got the stepsisters, and they're racing to the diner because the stepsisters are like, we saw her. She's on her way there. She's not working. And it's really intense, you guys. Hilary Duff is like, Carter, I need Fast and the Furious, not driving Miss Daisy. Pick up the speed. Remember this is a wild time, by the way, in history when you would say Fast and the Furious and you were only referring to 3 possible movies.
Actually, only 2 at this point, I think.
I think Tokyo Drift was probably out.
No, Tokyo Drift came out. I was back here in New Brunswick when Tokyo Drift came out. Actually, when the sisters, I don't know which one it was, got fed up with mom, taking her time and stands on the accelerator to make their car go fast, and they go careening through an intersection in busy Los Angeles traffic, and I was like, where is a bloody 8-car pileup when you need one?
Yeah, exactly.
Fiona makes it to the diner first, and all the workers are like trying to slow her down, being like, oh, using like distractions, and the Paul Rodriguez is like, hey, what do I do with this fish? And just like stuff like that.
Oh yes, because she's obsessed with salmon. We did.
I missed that.
You did miss
Yeah.
that.
No,
She-
I
she-
missed that watching the movie.
Like when she was like sitting at the poolside, she was
Yeah.
like reading a salmon diet, and then she was eating salmon. Like
Okay,
it's
but that's-
all over.
But that's
yeah.
the only reference to it, that one scene.
No,
That
like
one
there's
scene.
that one.
No, that's
scene,
that's the one scene that sets up the running
Yeah.
gag.
yeah.
But that's it. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't catch on to that running gag at all.
Because they were doing like salmon pancakes and salmon waffles, and it was like salmon was a special today, like at the restaurant.
Mm.
Yeah, I got those parts, but like I didn't clue into her being obsessed with salmon. I thought she was just a terrible restaurant owner.
Well, I mean, she is, but
So they make it so that she's walking around, she's trying to see, and then Sam pops up in the back, working in the back. She's cooking and everything. She's like, oh, I just wanted to try cooking. And it's a skin of her teeth moment. But unfortunately, the skin of the teeth moment doesn't translate to Carter, who's waiting outside in his dad's Mercedes, and it crashes, and the whole diner sign falls and crushes his
So
car.
there was like at the beginning,
Just like last week's movie.
when we first met Carter, like he was like near his dad, like in the part, like the driving. Oh my god, the driveway. With his dad, and he was saying like, oh, like, when are you gonna give me the keys to your Mercedes? He's like, you totaled like this many cars. Like I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, that's kind of really on the nose. That's like because it's foreshadowing what's gonna happen at the end, like at this scene, because I knew it was gonna happen.
I feel he was blameless in this situation. I mean, really.
Mm.
Well, not blameless, but I mean less blame. I mean, if that sign had been secured the way it should have been, it wouldn't have totaled that car.
Yep. But the Mercedes is kaput, and he has a meltdown, as you would. The next day, there is a very creepy campaign at school with posters everywhere saying, "Where's Cinderella?" And Austin's friends, by the way, in these scenes are so obnoxious and awful.
Yeah.
They're just like the whole thing, like, hey, you gotta find her and like, bow, right? Get with her. Yeah. Oh, I need to get laid. Like, they're the horniest people I've ever seen in film.
Which was the style at the time.
No, this is this is movie level horny. This is I went to high school. I know what guys are like. I know what other guys are like, but this is heightened.
I played football. I know what guys are like.
Yeah, trust me. I know what you're saying, but I think this is still like a heightened movie level of horny guys. Like,
is it kind of like Big Mouth level?
No, it's kind of like when they did that parody video of they did that Wonka trailer as a horror movie, and that one guy that was like, yeah, my boner knows the way home, and he just like saying that for every single sentence.
Wow.
So anyway, they're horrible, and he's trying to find his Cinderella. He has her phone. I don't know why he couldn't just, I don't know, call someone from the phone and be like, hey, whose phone is this?
He offhandedly says that it was locked, that they could, which I thought that was going to lead to scenes where girls are lining up to try to unlock the phone to prove that they're Cinderella, and that's not what happens.
But they do line up.
But they don't try to unlock the phone, which that should have been the slipper fitting on moment. The unlocking of the phone.
Or if this had been made a few years later, it could have been one of those things where you have to like show your face to unlock the phone.
Or like, what's your wallpaper?
No, it could have been like a
facial recognition.
Yeah, he does it to like each girl that comes up to try to unlock the phone. Really, he's saving those pictures for his buddies Spank Banks. So this continues for a while. Carter is like, okay, listen, you got to reveal yourself. You got to just tell him it's you. You know what? I'll reveal to his ex-girlfriend that I was the one that macked on her as Zorro, because she's totally going to be cool with it, and we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and then you'll feel better.
She doesn't believe her. And she says like, yeah, you do that, and then I'll do that.
Yeah, he's like, you do that, I'll do that, and then you'll feel better about your thing. And then eventually he does do it, and of course it doesn't go well because he's a geek.
Right.
So Sam gets accepted into Princeton, Fiona finds out, but of course she's like, oh, she can't find out about this. I can't have her leaving home. And so she instead tells her that she won the Ed McMahon $1 million sweepstakes. Remember those junk mail? Remember that junk mail?
The Publishers Clearinghouse. You may... Oh,
it was Ed McMahon.
Was he still alive at that point, though?
I don't know, but those mailers were still going out.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. Publishers Clearinghouse still goes out today. I still see ads for it, despite the fact that Ed McMahon is dead.
If it was modern one, it'd be like, oh my God, you won 7 free meals from HelloFresh.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, HelloFresh.
Let's say that.
And spokesperson, Andy Richter.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is where you're talking about where the stepsisters end up finding out that Sam is Cinderella. It was Cinderella. You know, she was dressed like Cinderella, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they find out that she's the one that's been going back and forth with Austin. Uh-oh. So the first thing they decide to do is try to go up to Austin and say that, yeah, I was the one that was Cinderella, even though neither of them have blonde hair. So he kind of has some fun toying with them for a bit.
Don't they get into a fight at the car wash where they would have been brutally killed?
In the car
Yeah.
wash where they would have 100% been dead because
like
they
when-
get hot wax on them.
I mean, and instead they just have hairstyles that would have made them Jamiroquai groupies.
Well, yeah,
Uh.
it's like instead of like I don't know burning alive from all the hot wax, they just get like it's like a cartoon when someone gets blown up by dynamite and their hair just sticks on end and they just turn
Yeah.
like kind of darker. Like that's all that happens.
And I think in the next scene, old Chad Michael Murray swings by the diner, and Regina King checks him out.
Oh yeah, she's getting an eyeful.
She
like-
approves too.
She's like she basically might as well be like, Sam, if you ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna step up to the plate. So get this done. So yeah, he comes into the diner and Sam literally drops like the most major hint because she's like, some of us wear masks, and he's like, yeah. Anyway, gotta go.
Yep.
No, she was like went a little bit more. She was just like, like you want to, be yourself and be like, don't wear behind a mask. Be like,
Well-
it's me.
No, but that's what I mean. Like I know she says more, but the point is she says you don't want to hide behind a mask, and he doesn't clue in like at all.
Yeah.
Going to college on a football scholarship.
He's not though. He doesn't like football.
Trust me, if he's gonna be quarterback at USC, he's going to school on a football scholarship.
But he's really good at poetry, Nathan.
I can't. You know what? And this might be over. Maybe I'm oversimplifying, but anybody who goes and starts as a quarterback for a Big Ten team is going to school on a scholarship.
But Tennyson,
Again, he can like both things. It's
can't.
fine.
Nope, it's 2004. You gotta pick one and drop the other.
You know how weird it was for me to be a guy who played football in high school, but also went to university, for theater?
I'm assuming you had to quit one of them.
Nope. Tried to play football in university too. That didn't work out, but I still love theater.
You could have done a play about football.
Oh yeah.
If this movie and High School Musical has taught me anything, you can't do both. Wait, actually, High School Musical taught me that you can do both. Never mind. So they have they go to this pep rally, and I gotta say this skit performed by the cheerleaders is like 100 times better than these ever were in real life. I know it's not good, but
This
like
one's so mean. Like,
well, yeah, it's incredibly mean, but like the quality of it
Mm.
is way better than any I ever saw at my school.
My note for this little pep rally skit was this is how you get suicides and school shootings.
yes, this is it. That's exactly my note. I said this is how kids commit suicide.
So Mariah, what do they do in this
Or
cheerleader
shoot
skit?
up the school. I mean,
yeah. So they do a little skit and they read out the
make
emails.
a little love and get down the night.
Yeah.
Oh.
The emails between Sam and Austin.
Yeah, they make it fun. They clearly it's they're private emails, and then still surprisingly there was no sex stuff. But anyways,
Mariah's really hung up on the fact that there was no sex stuff.
well, I think there clearly probably was. But
This is-
anyways,
This is a PG movie in 2004.
right.
And that's another thing too. It's in 2004, and despite the fact that there's no sex stuff in these emails, the fact that they're actually calling it, they're actually making fun directly of an outcast student. I mean, as
Yeah.
outcast as you can be when you look like Hilary Duff,
But in the world of this movie, she's a fucking chud.
right? But this is
Yeah.
6 years after Columbine. I feel that school
Oof.
might have been a bit more sensitive about this stuff at that time.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what? Like they could have, maybe had a hint of, the sexting where he texted her.
She's so
Where
hung
he-
up
She's
on it.
really
where he
wants.
where he texted her and asked her, "Would you kiss it?"
She just wanted to
She
see a
just-
picture of Chad Michael Murray's
Where's-
dong.
Would
For
you?
comparison,
No, he
she wants to
Chad
know if
Michael
she's got
Murray
the bigger schwanz.
would
Yeah.
Yeah.
text Hilary
All right.
Duff and say,
The
"Would you
sex-
kiss it?"
Yeah. So anyway, After this whole thing, obviously they're freaking out, and they keep calling her diner girl as if like working in a diner also makes her ugly.
At least she has
Fiona,
a fucking job.
yeah, Fiona cheers up Sam by giving her a fake rejection letter from Princeton. Now you can work here forever.
Do you want a cookie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Probably
scene
made
I
of
think
fish.
is hilarious is that one of the pretty girls says to like Austin, people like her don't belong in our world, Austin. Like, yeah, beautiful models like Hilary Duff because they work in a diner. Ew.
And again,
I
like
would
it's
say-
going back to like, you know, the suicides and the
In a
shooting.
real world, there'd be a Dateline episode about all of this stuff.
Oh, 100%, because they're like, oh,
she would have killed herself, killed her mom and killed herself, killed her mom, her stepsisters and killed herself, shot up the school, killed her mom, killed her stepsisters and killed her. Either way, we're ending in mass tragedy if this was set in the real world.
And I'd be okay with that. You know,
But
like
in-
it'd be a good movie to watch.
But instead, what happens is at the diner, a guitar that's hanging on the wall falls down, and she realizes her dad put that little motivational quote about what is it?
Never let the
Don't-
fear of whatever.
Striking
out,
stop you from playing the game.
Stop you from playing the game.
And
Exactly.
she sees it, and that finally motivates her to tell Fiona that she quits everything and she's moving out. ... with Rhonda ... this fall on CBS.
I'd watch it. I thought I was really hoping we were gonna get a beatdown because the earrings came out.
Yeah, yours came out. Yeah.
And that was another stereotypical thing. I mean, really, like as soon as she was like, as soon as Rhonda got all mad and started taking her earrings off, and I'm like, all right, movie, like, come on. But that doesn't happen, Nathan. They
No,
just
I
leave.
was disappointed. She
Yeah.
just ends up moving in with Rhonda.
Carter wants to go to the big game, and Sam is like, yeah, I'll go to the big game, even though like Austin and I are, you know, it's all falling apart. But she goes to the game. He's at the game. Austin is playing the football, the footy ball. He's throwing the rock. I don't watch sports.
He's playing
Okay,
soccer.
They're playing American football, and he's the quarterback.
Thanks.
No problem. Got you covered.
At some point, he sees Sam leaving because she can't handle this, and he's like, you know what?
That's bullshit. Because she stays there for the entire game and leaves at like the last second possible,
Because they're
saying
chanting.
that I can't take it. I thought I could, but I can't. You've took it for over 2 hours
I think it's
because
they're-
the game's almost over.
Okay, but I mean, you can't blame her for leaving.
I can't blame her for leaving, but I can blame her for being over dramatic.
But she doesn't leave dramatically at all. That's my thing. She just leaves, and he looks over and he's like, "Oh my god, she's leaving! I've got to get out of this game right now."
Well,
that's
she's not
that's
over.
on
She's
him.
not over dramatic in her actual leaving. She's not making a big to do so that everybody else around. But she is a fairly over dramatic in her words to her friend Carter.
That's
I
on
thought I could
him.
take this, but I can't. I
but
can't. I've been here for the all 4 quarters. There's only 5 seconds left of the game, but I can't take it. I have to leave.
She
Because they were
doesn't.
chanting his name too.
But she says it. She says it.
Bullshit.
Okay, stop for a second. She doesn't once say to Austin, "Oh, I have to leave." She leaves. That's all he
she
sees her
tells him
doing.
that I thought I could do this.
No,
but I can't.
no. Austin is the guy. Is Chad Michael Murray? She never yells out to him. She never says,
No,
I'm
sorry,
leaving.
not Austin.
I'm
no,
leaving."
sorry, Carter. She says it to Carter.
Now, I know,
okay?
but I'm just saying,
Got
like,
my white guys mixed up. My bad.
okay, but I'm just saying that her leaving, what doesn't matter what she says to Carter. Who cares? Austin can't hear that conversation. The fact that she's leaving and he's the one who fucking decides to go and like kiss her in the rain. It's not like she's not going to be held responsible
spoiler
for
alert.
that. That's on him.
It's on her. She's been there for
Bullshit.
better part of 2 hours. She's been there.
Bullshit.
No.
Who cares if she leaves?
Who cares when I care when she leaves, especially when she says, "I thought I could do this, but I can't." You've clearly been able to do this for almost 2 hours now.
But she's not. They're not even together. So who cares if she leaves? If he sees her leaving and he dramatically is like, "Oh, I have to go," that's him. She's got nothing to do with that decision.
"Oh, I have to go."
To nobody. She says it to Carter. She doesn't say it to him.
I'm just saying.
He's
Bullshit.
responsible for his own actions.
It's overwrought teenage
He
dramatic
is
bullshit.
responsible
I love
for his
Bullshit.
own bullshit actions.
Yay, I'm glad I picked this movie.
If he could have he could have just done the play and then go see her after. Who cares?
Oh, he's overly dramatic too, but I'm just saying that her bullshit is just as overly
I
dramatic.
love the.
yeah,
I
but
love
her
this
leaving,
scene.
her leaving does not like she didn't ask him to fucking leave the game. She just left. Like if he wants to be a little bitch and leave, that's on him.
Well, he saw her leave.
Okay.
He saw her leave, and he was like, "No, I need. She's walking away from my life, so
Yeah.
I gotta go kiss her." And then it starts raining.
But I'm
I
just
think
saying,
that's
like,
so
it's
sweet.
not her.
Suddenly becomes a
she's-
Nicholas Sparks novel.
Love it.
It's not her responsibility that he left. That's on him. He can make his own decisions. He's a big boy.
True. I'm just talking about her overreaction to the last 5 seconds of the game, saying that she can't do it after being there for the entire game.
I think it
Where
maybe
I'm guaranteeing you, they chanted his name more than once because he's the quarterback.
from a girl standpoint, I like not that it makes.
Boo,
a
who
difference,
cares about
you know,
girls?
I didn't even notice that was the last 5 seconds. I had no clue. I just thought they were starting the game. And
No, they were. The game was tied. It came down to the
I
last
did not
play,
pay
and
attention to that.
that was.
Although
yeah.
you wouldn't know that because they show like 15 seconds of gameplay. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, they kiss in the rain. They the other football player gets sent in and replaces him or whatever. The game
Easy,
continues, and they
from
win.
the Mayans, and he wins.
And
Yeah.
they win. So whatever. They kiss in the rain. Everything's good. Carter becomes a commercial star. He's dating that goth girl that was doing the morning announcements. Wait a sec.
Before that, during one of the during the game, the stepsisters are there, and they knock somebody the fuck out. They're trying to like there's like doing the wave and kicking and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and one of them knocks somebody right out. And I was like, okay, I laughed at that. All right,
And
you got me, movie. You got me one time, movie.
They cut back to them
So,
later on,
yeah.
and they moved like that person was gone. Probably went to
Like,
the hospital.
You got me 2 times, movie. One where the stepsister knocked somebody the fuck out, and the other one where the stepsister farted in the other stepsister's face. Twice, I got 2 legitimate laughs out of this movie.
So we get the final reveal is that that fairy tale book that Sam had, it has a secret will in it. So I guess her dad had a will after all, and now she actually owns everything. Fiona is forced to work at the diner to repay her debt under the watchful eye of her new manager, Rhonda, which I did actually like that.
Why didn't the judge just say you can go to jail or join the army?
I know, but it's
Because I don't think that punishment's a thing either.
I
mean, she would have to pay it back, but I don't think she would have to work at that diner to pay back.
But
I think it's just like they want her to do that.
But I just like the reveal of Rhonda being her boss. That was a nice little
That was nice,
wrap
yes.
for that. Austin and Sam go to Princeton together and live happily ever after. But then she says, "Well, at least for now. Hey, I'm only a freshman." Ba-da-bum.
And then the most of my rage came up out of me because Hilary Duff and her sister did a cover of Our Lips Are Sealed by the Go-Go's. Awful. An absolute sacrilege is what it was.
It was fine.
I feel more enraged about this than her leaving the football game with 5 seconds left on the clock. So enraged.
So, Mariah, I'm going to go to you first, Mariah. What do you know you're on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to you first. So was this movie worth a watch, a drunk watch with friends? Would you attempt head trauma to forget it or avoid like the plague?
I would say a drunk watch with friends because it's a older movie and there's a lot of like early 2000s jokes in there.
Early 2000s fashions and trends.
Yeah.
Nathan, what say you?
I'm gonna attempt head trauma to forget it. I'm not going full on avoid like the plague, but there are several better movies than this one from that era that hit the same tropes.
Sleepover, your favorite, right?
Sure. Okay. But the no, I can't really recommend this movie in any way at all.
All right, I'm gonna go somewhere between your two categories here. I'm gonna go somewhere between a drunk watch and attempt head trauma to forget it. I think I'm confident in that area. The movie cost $19 million to make, by the way, and it made $70 million, so quite successful. Yeah,
it's good. Get out of here.
We are going to take a brief break. Here's some ads. Here's some sponsors. and we will be right back.
What were they thinking?
Hey everyone, I just want to let you know that support for What Were They Thinking is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. And it is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, the Performance Package 4.0, guys. You can join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with an exclusive offer, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code WWTT. That's right. You just go to manscaped.com and type in WWTT as your promo code, and you will get free shipping and 20% off. Now, you may be wondering, well, what is Manscaped? Well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of Manscaped. It's a huge, huge thing. Manscaped, it's specifically the Performance Package 4.0. It's for a lot of things. You can trim your balls. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, that is specifically to trim them nuts. You can use it. It's got an LED light on it. It's got cutting edge ceramic blades to reduce grooming accidents. They've got this technology. It's called advanced skin safe technology. It's also waterproof. And you're going to get a more precise shave. You got to look your best. You can't have hairy balls. The ladies don't like it. Other gentlemen don't like it. Or whoever. Whoever is on the other end of the sofa bed. And not only can you use the items in this kit to shave your balls. I guess I suppose I'm part of the Manscaped family. I'll lump myself in there with them. We are also proud to bring you the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer that also comes with this Performance Package 4.0. The Weed Whacker also uses a technology called proprietary skin safe technology, which also helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate little nose holes. So you use the Weed Whacker on your nose. You use the Weed Whacker on your ear hair. You get those little annoying hairs out of the way. No muss, no fuss. It might be the other way around. I don't know. Don't look it up and prove me wrong. I'm sensitive. The Performance Package also comes with Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. And it's going to change your entire hygiene routine, okay? Let me tell you this. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Your balls are going to look up at you, and they're going to be like, thank you. Your balls will thank you, folks. And if you get the Performance Package 4.0, I'm going to make this deal even sweeter, okay? Are you ready for this? Are you fucking ready? You're not only getting all of these things that I just mentioned, but you're also getting the boxers, the Manscaped boxers, and the travel bag. So you can even be comfortable just wearing underwear. You got comfortable underwear. You got shaved balls. You got no nose hairs and ear hairs in your way. What more do you want? So again, get 20% off and free shipping with the code WWTT, as in what were they thinking? Just head to manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code WWTT. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
And we're back.
Yes, we are. We are back.
Back in black.
Back.
Hit the sack.
It's
It's been too long. I'm glad to be back.
Yes.
Yes, I'm on the loose.
Okay. So anyway, yes, it is now time for the low haiku. Nathan, what is a low haiku?
Well, a low haiku is 17 syllables to describe the movie we've been, destroying for the last, hour and some change.
Very good, very good. So, Mariah, would you like to lead off the charge with your haiku?
Yes. Betty Crocker Hood. Is that a fucking flip phone? Will Ex Machina.
Okay, all right, very good, very good.
That's the Deus Ex Echna ending, of course. Wonderful again to see.
Where Will Smith shows up and slaps Jennifer Coolidge.
No, that was
Take that fucking fish out your mouth. Keep that fucking salmon out your mouth.
Nathan, do you have a haiku for us?
I do.
Okay.
This makes me angry. Why wasn't CPS called? On the school as well. Thank you.
Very good. And I'll read my haiku for y'all. New Cinderella. She did not bang Stifler's mom. That would be real weird.
Although I hear there's several videos dedicated to that sort of thing on the internet.
A lot of slash fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Slash fiction. We're out.
And proud.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Yeah.
So, guys, we talked about this. We talked about this movie in depth, but what do we always say?
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we have a tendency to say,
Don't take a word for it.
That's right. That is what we say. You nailed it. So, but Nathan, what are the critics saying about A Cinderella Story?
well, the critics gave it a 12%.
So,
And that's legitimately about 12 critics, because that's out of 104 reviews.
12 critics say A-okay.
But at least passable.
What about the what about the peeps? What about the peoples?
Interestingly enough, I thought the Lizzie McGuire fan base would rally to the defense of this movie. 53% out of 250,000 plus ratings.
I mean, that is a lot more than the critics.
Yeah. But if you like this, one, seek counseling. But two, also check out Sydney White, Mean Girls. Legitimately, check out Mean Girls. That's a great movie. School of Rock, also pretty good. No Reservations, which I don't think I've ever heard of. And She's the Man, which I'm assuming is a Becky Lynch biopic.
I actually do know the plot of that movie, but I've never seen it. It's Amanda Bynes' vehicle.
Is that the one that's kind of like based on a 12th Night?
It's
She dresses in drag.
It's basically like what's that 80s movie that where there's like surprise boobies in the last 5 minutes?
Oh, just one of the guys.
Yeah. The most surprising boobies of all time, I think. Yeah, it's like that, but you know, this day and age.
Okay.
Well, let's get into it then. Let's see what the critics are saying about this wonderful movie. Anna Smith of Empire Magazine says this is simple, lazy storytelling rendered merely functional by appealing leads and the eternal lure of romantic fantasy. 2 out of 5.
Okay. Well, Steve Rhodes from Internet Reviews writes, lackluster comedy could have been titled "You've Got Instant Messages." 1.5 out of 4.
All right.
So I have one from Kit Bowen from Hollywood.com. It says, beside adolescent girls who either want to be Hilary Duff or want to slobber all over Chad Michael Murray, the story offers nothing new to an already beaten to death teen genre. 1.5 out of 4. But it's rotten rating.
Well, yeah. 1 out of 4. Fresh. Okay. Peter T. Chataway of Christianity Today says, I took a friend's 10-year-old daughter to see the film, and she found it, quote, too childish. And who am I to argue with a member of this film's target audience? 1.5 out of 4.
Okay. Well, you know what? I actually did manage to find one of the 12. And this comes from Dustin Putman. from thefilmfile.com does justice to its well-known source material while putting a pleasant spin on it. It's better than one may be led to expect, which is perhaps the best compliment of all. 2.5 out of 4.
Okay.
I have one from Larry Carroll from filmstew.com. And I don't know, this was written in 2004, so I don't know if it's really a threat, but I'll let you guys think of this. Chad Michael Murray could be the next Johnny Depp, or he could be the next Luke Perry. Only time will tell.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
What that meant in 2004 is not what it means in 2022.
No.
I think it's a pretty grim outcome regardless.
True.
That's a hard one.
Okay, well, Richard Roper, as my last critics one. Richard Roper says, one of the positive reviews, guys. A Cinderella story doesn't break any new ground, but it's a well-acted little breeze of a film. Perfect if you're a 12-year-old girl. Just like me, Richard Roper. I added that part.
All right, well, I guess my last one comes from his contributing partner, I guess, at that point. Your boy, Roger Ebert.
My boy.
And he writes a terrible movie. Sappy and Dead in the Water. 1 out of 4.
Roger. He really Rogered that movie.
He really did.
I have my last one is a fresh one, and it's from Bruce Westbrook from the Houston Chronicle. And it says, Duff plays off her Lizzie McGuire persona as a cute but unassuming girl, but also conveys soulfulness and earnest longing.
Earnest longing. I think it's supposed to be 2 separate words.
Yeah. When I saw Ernest, I thought of Ernest.
Yeah, she looks like she's aching to bang Jim Varney.
That's why I was just like,
know what I
mean? What's he say? Burn?
Yeah.
Know what I mean, Vern?
Burn.
Well, okay, enough of those professional critics. Let's find out what the audience is saying here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. My first one is from Ryder P, and he simply says, the best movie I have ever seen. 5 stars.
Well, my first one is right above his, and it comes from KDP. I can only assume that's Katy Perry. And she writes, cute, quirky, fun. The casting is superb, and although some of the situations are contrived, it's one of the best retellings of Cinderella I've ever seen. Love watching it with my daughter. 5 out of stars.
Wow. Okay.
So I have one from Bill T, and I can only assume that's Billy Talent, the band.
The band, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was from the character played by Colin Keith Frene.
Yeah.
Hardcore Logo.
Yes. Part horrendous and yet part quirky. Retelling of the famous Cinderella story for today's teen girls, featuring then #1 teen idol Hilary Duff as Cinderella. The story is there with some editing to make it more timely, and it sometimes works and sometimes fails amusingly. It's all a bad car wreck, admittedly, but of course, one can't stop staring at it.
What was the rating?
3 out of 5.
All right.
3 out of stars.
Famed director Joe Johnston says, I like this movie. I like to watch it over and over again. 3.5 stars.
Well, speaking of famed directors, my next one comes from James C., and I can only assume that's James Cameron. And he writes, purely personal bias, this was my understanding of U.S. high schools and a modern bedtime story when I was in high school. 5 out of stars.
Wow, this movie is older than almost as old as James Cameron. Wow.
So my next one is from Danny C, and I can only assume that it's the song from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Danny California.
Okay. Yeah.
And she says, or they say,
her mother, and I heard her mother was a hippie. Daddy was a lawman.
Oh my God, you fucking kill me. Okay. So for its Disney-like appearance, it's actually a decent movie. Getting down the state of Mississippi, Papa was a cupper.
I thought you were singing that was part of the review.
Alabama, see what's going on.
All right. Okay, this person prefers to remain anonymous, and they said, "What in the world was this? Horrible, just horrible. Seriously, abuse. This little girl was clean fed and had a nice big private room. They called it abuse, and then this twisted relationship turned into her foster brother. What the fudge? She was an awful actress, didn't have no expressions. This whole thing was stupid. The worst Cinderella type story ever. I absolutely hated this as I wasted my life. I love all Cinderella stories. This was awful. Why is the girl always sad? She doesn't know how to have expressions, and it's always the same one. It's ridiculous. I hate this horrible movie. I hate this movie. 1 star.
Her stepbrother?
I don't
What?
know.
I don't think that's the movie that he's looking to review here in this case.
They mentioned Cinderella. I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't know.
Because no other movies other than Disney's Cinderella has been made about Cinderella.
No, but he talked about like that they were all clean fed and had a nice big private room, and that it wasn't abuse. So I figured he was talking about this, and then just had a breakdown.
Okay. It's mental abuse, but anyhow. Well, my next one comes from Zachary B, and I can only assume that's Zach Braff. And he writes, deserves better reviews, but I'd give it about a 3. 2 out of stars.
That's good.
Yeah, it's about as smart as the time he punched a teenager.
Zach Braff punched a teenager?
He did, right? He was supposed to be on an episode of Punk'd, and they couldn't show the episode because it was like they had like a 15 or 16-year-old like in on the joke, and he fucking hauled off and punched them in the face.
Nice.
I don't know why they didn't show that.
I think he asked them not to.
Not fun at all.
No, he has a little bit of a shitty light shitty reputation.
So I had to scramble because Brendan's last one was the one I picked for my review. But it's okay. So this one is from T-Dog D, and I don't have any cool jokes to go with it.
T-Dog.
Yeah. So this one, he says, boring. I saw it with my cousins. Dumb movie. Ugh. Just hard to pay attention. By the first 10 minutes, I was on my DS. Couldn't. I like that one because it was a DS and it brought me back to my childhood. So
I still have a DS.
I love it. DS. It was half a star.
Okay. My last one is going to be from Timothy W. Who says, I grew up watching her on the Disney Channel, and to see her outside of Disney surprises me when I first saw this. Finding your true love in high school while you get bullied is something I will never experience. When it comes to the sweetest and cutest guy or girl, no matter who you're friends with, it ends here. What? 5 stars. That sounded like a threat at the end.
It ends here.
It ends here. I don't care who you're with.
My next one is from Brad G, and I can only assume it's Brad Garrett. And he writes, great movie. Look out for Howard off Big Bang Theory on it, Raymond. 4.5. 4 out of stars. 4 out of stars.
Okay, guys. So I have a really good one for my last one. And it's from Brendan D. So I don't know if it's actually spelled like the same as Brendan. So, and D. So I guess. Let's come up with the last
No,
one.
it's Brendan Dassey.
No, oh my God, it's Brendan Dassey.
He wrote it from prison.
From the prison. I was gonna say from the grave, but he's not really dead.
No,
Anyways.
He's not really dead, Mariah, in the sense that he's quite alive.
Yeah, Brendan Dassey. I was gonna say Brendan Dirtbag, but that's not. Anyways, Brendan Dassey says, "Dumb shit Duff movie with that insipid actor from One Tree Hill."
Well, there we go. Those are the reviews. We did it, guys. But now it's time to talk about something we like more. It's time to talk about movies or TV we've been watching, stuff that's good, maybe something you want to recommend to the folks. So we'll start with you, Mariah. So what you watching, bud?
It's so funny. Every time I come on here, you always say, "Stop saying you watch RuPaul's Drag Race."
No,
But I watch RuPaul's Drag Race all the fucking time.
All I said
The
was
thing
don't
is,
recommend
Mariah,
the same thing every time.
Yeah, you've recommended it a few times.
No,
Your recommendation is out there.
Yeah, it's out there now. People know.
Watch it, guys. It's awesome. Anyway, so the other thing I've been watching, aside from watching
RuPaul's Drag Race,
watching weird episodes of Sons of Anarchy and the series finale with fucking Brendan. never watching the whole show, which is I might won't go
It's
back.
so
and watch it.
good. So good.
I know. I'm gonna have to go watch it. I've been watching a lot of like.
So she's recommending watching random episodes of Sons of Anarchy
and RuPaul's Drag Race, and there's a show I'm watching right now on. It's on Disney Plus, and it's witnessing a disaster, and it's like from the National Geographic, and it's about like big like weather and like events that are just shows like people at their worst, and I'm loving it. It's all about survival, and like I think it's just really interesting. So definitely check it out.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Witnessing a disaster.
Nathan, what about you, bud?
Well, this as the week of recording came up, we Patty and I actually finished watching The Thing About Pam. The last episode aired. It's a little, I guess, I don't know if it's a mini series or mega series. It's a limited series. 6 episodes. Renee Zellweger does a great job as this Midwestern sociopath.
Oh, that show, yeah.
It's some reviews kind of didn't care for it much. We enjoyed it quite a bit, and Patty was actually quite enthralled by it, and the whole thing actually made me want to like research a bit more on what Pam Hupp was really like. And yep, lunatic. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'd recommend it. Thing About Pam.
The Thing About Pam. It's not about Pam from The Office, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's about Pam Hupp, who killed her friend, her mother, and some random stranger to frame somebody else.
But that wasn't a plot for one of the episodes of The Office.
I mean, it could have been, because there were a lot of sociopaths on that show too. Boy, howdy, let me tell you.
oh boy, by golly. Well, speaking of sociopaths, I watched a movie that just came out this year, also released on Disney Plus, or I guess Hulu, really, but Disney Plus in Canada, and it's a movie called Fresh. Stars Daisy Edgar Jones and Sebastian Stan. It starts off like it's going to be a movie, kind of a funny like critique of like the whole like idea of modern dating. Although as soon as you see the genre is thriller, you know that it's going to take a much different route. About 30 minutes in, and I will say that that there's a critic's review during the trailer that says 30 minutes in, my jaw hit the floor, and I will stand by that comment all day, every day.
Okay.
It took a wild turn.
He showed trunk, didn't he?
You did see someone's trunk, I believe,
Okay.
but
All right.
not Sebastian Stan's.
Oh,
Not interested.
because it's you might actually be disappointed. It's fairly small. He is a winter soldier after all, and
That's
it's
right.
cold in the winter,
but it's good for a winter
Wow.
soldier,
right?
like in comparison to other winter soldiers.
In
Anyway,
comparison.
the movie is called Fresh. It's really incredible. It's really tense. It's funny at times. It's gory. It's got 2 terrific lead performances from like I said, Daisy Edgar Jones and Sebastian Stan, and you can watch it if you have Disney Plus. It's right there, so check it out.
And is a question for you, Brendan? Is it fresh on Rotten Tomatoes?
It is fresh on Rotten Tomatoes,
So
which
fresh is fresh.
I'm glad, because I know that every critic joke would be like, this Fresh turns out to be a little rotten. But no, it's fresh.
Can I add
On Fresh.
Can I add something to my watch? Human Resources. Fantastic show. I watched it in like 2 days.
Big Mouth spinoff.
Yeah, actually, like I thought, like I wouldn't like it. It was kind of like a slow burn, but it was like really good. And I fucking sobbed in episode 9. It's so sad. If you've watched it, you know.
There you go. There's your recommendations. Now, Nathan, you have a little buddy there. I'm not referring to your penis, but I'm referring to Montrose Monkington III. Does he have anything he wants to talk about before we sign off?
I'm absolutely sure he does. Just one moment.
Okay. Hello, I'm Montrose Monkington.
Hello, I'm Montrose Monkington, watching RuPaul's Drag Race.
I do not find that funny at all. Both of you. There is an acre of hell reserved specifically for you. And all you will get to watch is Tyler Perry movies, Brendan. And Mariah, guess what? All you get to watch are non-connecting episodes of Sons of Anarchy, so you'll never know what's going on.
I
And
already
and-
don't.
And she won't have
But
me,
for all of eternity.
and you won't have me next to you to explain every single plot detail behind every character.
Precisely.
Yeah.
I am Montrose Monkington III, Esquire, from Bananashire upon Hempton, in the great country of England. And I am inviting you to watch my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV. And after that, to be friends with me on Facebook in the group Montrose Monkington III, Esquire, and Friends. And then finally, of course, if you wish to tweet at me and tell me about these filthy blackguards who have been impersonating me and defrauding me and slandering my good name all across podcastum, well, you can do that on Twitter at Montrose III. That's the number 3D. Thank you. More later. Yeah.
Thank you, Montrose, once again.
You're welcome.
Mariah, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, no problem.
do you-
Anytime I could get piss you off, I'm all in.
Okay.
Yeah, it is fun to watch that vein pop out on Brendan's forehead when we record with you.
So anything you want to plug?
Your
Your
butt.
butt.
So you can find our podcast on all the podcast apps. Our home base is, of course, Age of Radio.
Big time.
And of course, you can go to ageofradio.org/whatwerethéthinking. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at WWTT Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for What Were They Thinking. You can find us on Redbubble, TeePublic. Of course, we have our Patreon page. You can sign up for Patreon and get access to bonus episodes, early access to episodes. You can pick movies for us. It's all very exciting. It's all happening. And of course, let's not forget that
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
let's not forget that very soon, coming up as well in June, we will be having Listener's Choice Month, which
Woo!
always ends up with movies that are just great. So
Godzilla was last year, was it not?
I don't remember.
That was the least of it. I mean, I think actually last year was a pretty easy year as far. There was no muck.
Yeah.
So
Oh God.
So be sure to tune in for that. Get ready for that because that's gonna be a happening, not the happening. We've already talked about that. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So Nathan, do you have any questions about a Cinderella story?
I got a few.
Okay.
So with a movie where your protagonist is Hilary Duff.
Mm-hmm.
And in a movie where you have a fantastic ensemble cast that is woefully criminally underused,
Regina
or
King.
utilized, right? Exactly. And in a movie that strives to stand out but hits every cliche imaginable. In a movie where I'm supposed to believe that Hilary Duff is unpretty,
Mm-hmm.
I simply need to know.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
The strands in your eyes, the color them wonderful, stop me and steal my breath. And emeralds from mountains and thrust towards the sky, never revealing their depth. And tell me that we belong together, dress it out with the trappings of love. I'll be captivated, I'll hang from your lips instead of the gallows of heartache that hang from above. And I'll be your crying shoulder, I'll be love suicide. and rain falls angry on the tin roof as we lie awake in my bed. And you're my survival, you're my